Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Miranda and I am the Enchantress of Avalon. And for today's video, we are going to be discussing a favorite topic of mine. And this is what I call living the fairy lifestyle. And it's something that I do myself. It's honoring all of the magical and the mystical in life and not worrying about the judgments of others for having bit of childlike wonder in your soul. And specifically today, I'm going to discuss a certain aspect of it. I did a blog post about this a couple of months ago, and it is what I call Twilight fairy living. So when people get to know me, they sometimes find it kind of strange that I'm both into fairy tales, Disney, and all of the magical, mystical stuff, but also into horror, the macabre, and gothic romance literature, horror films, all of the darker, creepier stuff. But first of all, I usually point out to people that fairy tales have really, really creepy, messed up origins. So to be a big fan of fairy tales like I am, and fairy lore in general like I am, when you dig deep to the older versions of these tales, they get darker and more twisted the further back you go. So it does make sense that I'd be into the morbid and macabre stuff. Not that I need to justify it to anyone, but I like to point that out because those original tales are very, very fun to read and certainly fun to experience. But when it comes to feeling into this fairy energy and having this sense of childlike wonder, it's not just the happy, light-filled stuff. It's not all sparkles and glitter and rainbows. It's also the dark side of things, because at its core, fairy as a concept, the land of fairy, fairyland, is both a place of eternal life and the fae, and also a land of the dead. So the concept of having this energy that you're feeling really resonates with you. It's not just one thing. It's not dark or light. It's both. And goddesses that are associated as fairy goddesses are often these Twilight goddess figures. They are more complex than just purely love and light or purely a dark goddess. They are both. They have aspects in both realms. And it's a duality that makes sense for the complex and ever-changing nature of what fae is, what this fae energy is to begin with. And I feel like that's part of what I connect to when I say I like to live the fairy lifestyle. The fairy lifestyle for me does involve things like, I like to wear very flowy and luxurious fabrics, things that feel good. I like to I dress very femininely. I like to dance around and sing and just embody that, fun, loving, free-spirited nature. I am a big proponent of going barefoot. I do whenever I can because it feels more natural to me. That's a big part of it. But also surrounding yourself with these magical and mystical items, the things that make you happy. I have, you could see in backgrounds of my videos, I have little figurines and statues of different fairy tale characters and fairies and mermaids, and I have them because they make me happy. I love having artwork on the walls. I love having a collection of beautiful objects surrounding me because, in part, I feel that this embodying this kind of magical energy is to surround yourself with beautiful things or things that make you feel good. And there's nothing wrong with doing something because it makes you feel good. So, on a deeper level, this also means to be willing to dig deep into your shadow aspects and honor that we all have these dark, shadowy parts of ourselves that we may be scared to really dig into. And it, given that it's winter now and that it's the time of year of being inside, part of that is wanting to be cozy and feeling, warm and held and nurtured. But the other part of that is the introspection, the going within, the digging deep. And if we're digging deep to honor whatever kind of shadow aspects we have, things that we feel guilty for feeling or guilty for thinking, things that we maybe don't like about ourselves, things that we are actively trying to hide from ourselves, and we actually confront this and begin to try and integrate that, we become more balanced as people. And that's really, in many ways, the heart of this Twilight fairy living kind of concept that this video is all about. So it's that internal shadow work, which doesn't have to be done on a spiritual level. If you're not a very spiritual person, it can be done on a more psychological level. It's digging within whatever you have that you feel any sort of negative emotion towards, this aspect of yourself that you feel a negative emotion, whether again it's guilt or anger, resentment, sadness, whatever you are feeling towards this aspect of yourself. If we acknowledge these aspects and work towards integrating them, we'll start to release some of the burden that is attached to this. So it's honoring that positive light side of yourself, the side that you show to the world, as well as honoring the darker, shadowy aspects of yourself that you're maybe afraid to or ashamed to show the world. And maybe in time, and while integrating those two sides of yourself, you will feel more comfortable showing these darker aspects of yourself that maybe you didn't like at first. Maybe you'll grow to like them, and maybe you'll feel more comfortable sharing those with people in your life as well. So this has gotten a little deeper than I thought it was going to. But needless to say, this is all a way of living that helps me, and I wanted to share a little bit of it with my YouTube subscribers and my YouTube audience, as I do also share it on my blog, whiteroseofavalon.life. I share bits and pieces of this, and I hope that it helps some people maybe dig into themselves or find a little bit of a different way of looking at the world. A way that has a little bit more childlike wonder, a little bit more magic, and yes, a little bit more shadow work, digging into the depths of your soul and honoring whatever is coming up for you. So, I hope that you've enjoyed this short video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. Check out my blog, whiteroseofavalon.life. I will link the Twilight Fairy Living blog post that delves a little deeper into it, and some other blog posts that relate to this topic in the description box below. And as always, my Discord server will be linked in the description box for anyone who wants to come and chat with me on all of the aspects of fairy tales, folklore, and fairy lore. Have a very fabulous day, everyone. Bye now.